I, 39F, had to call the police on my husband, 40M. I, 39F, called the police on my husband, 40M, after he smashed picture frames, ripped a door off its hinges, and chucked my phone as I was trying to call for help. And in front of my almost 2-year-old. We've been married for 5 years. My husband struggles with substance abuse, and I've had to call the police for pushing me before. I've had to Narcan him back to breathing before. We also lost our roommate to an overdose right before he left for rehab. He went to rehab for his use, while I moved out and got a new house where drugs were not allowed. I took him back after he completed his 30 days with the boundaries that he never use again. All in all, it was a horrible few years. This July, he started becoming violent after starting testosterone. Long story, he had a horrible back injury needing surgery and started taking to heal. The violence started on vacation with his family, where he threw patio chairs off the balcony of our Airbnb. He scared his niece and family, but they always just excused the behavior. There were 3 more incidents along the same line, last one telling me he would break my neck. And then tonight, I've been begging him to stop the testosterone, go back to his group and individual therapy, and all in all start treating me and his son better. He always just puts the blame back on me, telling me I'm hard to deal with. I'm a Som with son, so I started exploring options with my therapist about what comes next if this becomes unbearable. I told him I had a consultation this coming week after he went off on me again, and that's when he absolutely lost it. Police were called. I never wanted it to get this far, but I can't let him do this in front of my son. Did I do the right thing? His mom keeps calling me telling me I'm crazy and her poor son. I'm so lost and hurt. Yes, you absolutely did the right thing. The next thing you gotta do is get the hell out of this marriage, and as far away from him as possible. He's eventually gonna run out of things to throw and smash. What do you think is gonna happen then? For you and your 2-year-old's sake, I hope you find a way out of this. You did the right thing calling the police, but you're doing the wrong thing by staying with him. If not for yourself, do it for your son. Please leave. At any point it could be you. You also do not want to teach your child that this type of behavior is acceptable. This is how generational trauma starts. Please be the change your child deserves. You did the right thing, but you also shouldn't have let it get to this point. Your MIL is not to be trusted. Please get a restraining order against your husband and agree to press whatever charges you can. Please start making a plan for how you can move forward as a single parent. Do not even think about taking him back, if ever, and never is best, until he has 1. Done an anger management course. 2. Been sober for at least 12 months. The right thing to do is to protect your son. He needs you. That was dangerous for both you and him. What you do with your own life is your decision. You can risk it in any way you want, but your son relies on you. He has no other option. If you don't look out for him, nobody will. Your MIL probably is codependent. Tell her she's welcome to go live with her son herself and have her life threatened, and otherwise ignore her. Yes, you did the right thing. You need to call a DV hotline and get to a safe location. I'm so sorry. My 21 female, boyfriend, 23 male, says hi or expects an interaction every time we see each other. We moved in together almost a year ago, and it's honestly a bit exhausting and puts me on edge constantly. Every single time he sees me, he wants me to acknowledge him in some way. For example, I'll be sitting in the living room and he will walk by to the kitchen and he will look in and stand in the doorway smiling. If I ignore his standing there, he will wait for like an entire minute just staring at me smiling creepily, waiting for me to say hi even if I'm reading a book or anything. He will walk by and say hi, and I will say hi back, and then he will walk past again 5 minutes later and say hi again. It's like multiple times an hour he is saying hi. Same with if I am walking past wherever he is, he says hi. Like I literally cannot even read books because every other page I have to look up to say hi if he sees me. It's so silly, but it's annoying constantly being interrupted in my own house and not feeling relaxed. I feel anxious and have to close doors so he can't see me and feel a bit of anxiety every time I hear him walk by. When I ask him to cool it a bit, he starts doing this thing where he will run past me and act silly about it like he thinks, because I ask him to stop doing this, he thinks I just don't want to see him. Soon after he goes back to saying HI again. Is this normal behavior? How can I get him to stop? I thought it would go away after a while of living together, but it hasn't. Maybe try and read somewhere not near him and see if he follows you. If so, ask him what he's looking for. If he says nothing, just let him know you're trying to read/do whatever, and would appreciate during these downtimes that you be given some space to not be constantly interacted with. Let him know it's not a joke to you, it's not funny, and it's making you uncomfortable in your own house because you can't find time to relax with the constant interaction. When I ask him to cool it a bit, he starts doing this thing where he will run past me and act silly about it, like he thinks because I ask him to stop doing this, he thinks I just don't want to see him. Soon after, he goes back to saying "hi" again. Babe, listen to me, this is annoying and not endearing. I love you. I don't want or need to interact with you every time we're within 20 feet of each other. Please cool it. Man, this is totally unrelated, but my mom does this too, and I've never had anyone else give voice or feeling to it before. It is anxiety-inducing. Thank you for posting, OP. That said, if he's your partner and cares about you, I doubt he wants you to feel bad. Communicate to him about how y'all want to communicate, and feel free to share that it is anxiety-inducing. That's totally okay. Good luck, OP. No, it is not, and it would drive me absolutely fucking insane. I would not be able to hold it back and would snap something like, "Hey, leave me the hell alone. What is your problem?" Honestly, I am hard-pressed to imagine anything more annoying than this, and would be moving back out unless it stopped. My husband of 50-plus years used to ask me, "Where are you going?" every time I got up off the couch or out of the chair while we were watching TV. I finally just started answering, "I don't know." In your situation, I'd say, "Do I know you?" If he doesn't get the message, then you're doomed. Don't say hi back. Ever. Pretend you can no longer hear it when he does it. If he protests, explain it to him. That is annoying. I will no longer respond to or acknowledge that behavior. Or get a spray bottle and treat him like a misbehaved cat. That would probably be pretty effective. I, 19 male, am about to be a father with FWB 27 female. How do I co-parent without dating her? This relationship of being FWB with her started a while ago, and I am ashamed to say exactly how long ago. We started using protection, and she went on birth control, so we stopped using rubbers. I know I am responsible too. I don't actually want a relationship with her. She is not my type to date, and she is very immature for her age, acts like a teenager. She wants to be with me, but I just don't. I know I should be with her, but I just can't, and I am willing to support the baby and still be an active father. How do I co-parent with her, but while not dating her? Paternity test first. If it's your baby, get a lawyer and set up custody, visitation, support, etc. You already answered your own question. Co-parent and do not date her. She groomed you, dog. For years ago you were 15, she was 23. You're a victim. Honestly, I think you should press charges against her for sexually abusing you as a minor. I'ma just say you shouldn't be the one to feel ashamed. Wow, she is a predator and might have baby trapped you, but that's besides the point. Sadness about my 25 FBF's 26M video game hobby. My boyfriend plays video games most nights. We have been together 3.5 years, and we recently moved in together after 3 years long distance. I always knew he was a gamer, but prior to moving in, I thought that the nightly video games were a result of living with his parents in a small town with not much to do and his girlfriend living far away. I imagined our nights living together would involve more shared activities, movies, sex, or parallel play. We do have nights where we do these things, but it often feels like he's counting down the minutes until he can get online, or he will set a time where it ends. I told my friends I'd be on at 8. I play video games too, so I get the fun, but it's more of an occasional and solo thing for me. I totally think it's healthy that we both have our separate independent social lives and hobbies. I do too, but it feels like there's still a distance between us even now that we live together. I work a 9-5, we only have one shared weekend day off, and we wake/go to sleep at different times, so evenings are our only consistent time to connect. I am also taking into account that I recently moved to a new city with a barely existent social circle, and so hearing him laughing with friends nightly can feel lonely. I've suggested planning some weeknight IRL social outings with these friends and their partners to be a win-win situation for us both, but it's hard to push him into action on these things. I've also been trying hard to rekindle old friendships I have here and meet people online, but it's a slow process. In end, I end up feeling neglected, misunderstood, and lonely. I have my own hobbies and passions that I turn to, but after years of living alone and having all the time in the world to do these things, what I want is to have time to connect with my partner when I come home after a workday. My question is, what can I do here? If the answer is to have a conversation, how can I approach it? If the answer is more inward, how can I approach cohabitation with independence? And does anyone else have a similar struggle that could shed some light? Too long did not read. Moved in with boyfriend, and he plays video games more than I expected, and I am feeling lonely because of it. Edit. If you reply with saying I need hobbies, you clearly did not read my post, and I won't be taking your advice into consideration, LOLXX. As a gamer's girlfriend, I am telling you to interrupt him and let him know you want to spend time with him. Parallel play also works. I read or game while my partner games. I think it's hilarious that Reddit will take the woman's side on nearly everything until you get in between them and their video games. As a female gamer, I always made time for my partners if I decided to date. I switched to playing more casual types of games I can walk away from. I played what I wanted to play when the partners were busy. Our time together had higher priority than gaming. This was the only way I felt I could be fair dating someone while gaming. I'm not saying the guy should quit gaming for his GF, but put in some effort. Put aside time just to spend quality time with her and some of his own time. Compromise. I am genuinely amazed at how many people are here blaming Opie for wanting to spend time with her partner. Guess we found all the dudes who neglect their girlfriends. No one is saying he has to quit gaming, but if he wants to have a girlfriend, he does occasionally need to spend time with her. Otherwise, he won't have one for much longer. Living with someone is always a huge change, no matter what the relationship was like previously. In my opinion, it's the last true test of compatibility, before the irreversible, like children or mingling finances via marriage. Personally, I'd lose interest in someone who wasn't excited about, finally, spending time with me as I was about them. As a woman who is the gamer in this situation, it's something that needs to be compromised on. If I could, I'd game every night of the week. But I can't because life. My partner is my #1 priority. I have a schedule for gaming. I think this could be a good compromise for you and your BF. If he plays every night, that's not going to work long term. He needs to cut it down. Maybe 4 evenings a week? That's then 3 free evenings where he spends time with you. I dunno, you can work out between you both what suits you.